Rampraveen Swaminathan, Managing Director and CEO of Mahindra Logistics, joins us now. Let's connect with him to understand that how things have transpired for the business and how things are moving as far as the economy is concerned. I want to start with a very basic question. There are enough indicators which are indicating that economy is slowing down. There are also some indicators which are indicating that the economy is not slowing down. If I look at the GST collection, but if I look at the freight rates, if I look at what is happening to the rural India, economy is slowing down. Net, for a logistic company like yours, how's the big picture looking?
Good morning. I think it's not one homogeneous pattern. Some end segments are doing pretty well. I mean, for us at least, automotive and the farm businesses are and discrete manufacturing, they're all looking up. The volumes are growing there, and we see some strong progress there. I think consumer markets, based on categories, are a mixed bag, and obviously on the e-comm side, there has been some slowdown. So I think it's hard to paint it all under just one brush. Net, I think overall we still are seeing growth. Q4 is generally seasonally a bit weaker, but overall we do expect to see, we continue to see a growth pattern.
Okay. So for second half of this year, irrespective of where the monsoon is headed, what is happening to GST collection, what is happening to the general export demand, do you think the business is in good place?
I won't give guidance specifically, but for the first 9 months of the year, if you look at it, I think revenue grew by 26% year on year. And almost all our end market segments actually grew across different service lines. So obviously there has been a slowdown in the second half compared to the first half, partially because of year-on-year measurement. But we overall do remain positive in terms of the trend lines.
E-commerce slowing down for you. I mean, it is supposed to be the highest growth segment, but the numbers are indicating the other way around, that the e-commerce business is slowing down.
Yeah, I think we have to look at what's happening there a bit. I think firstly for us and for many other players, I think growth is happening in terms of GMV and volume growth. It's probably the growth is lesser than what was expected or anticipated. And therefore, that's resulting in a slowdown in terms of network additions, or in some cases, even a clawback in terms of network additions. So this is just really, in some ways, a capacity reset. Hopefully, that's something which we expect that through F23 Diwali, calendar year 23 Diwali, that capacity reset should happen. And therefore, we should start seeing some more network expansions and breakouts in the next fiscal. But that's kind of that's how we see things today.
Praveen, hi, good morning. I wanted to also understand the outlook when it comes to the supply chain. Are you seeing any sort of disruptions on that front? And do you believe that things have been ironed out?
Yeah, I think on the automotive side, generally things I think are headed in the right direction. Almost all our businesses, all our OEMs we work with are showing positive traction and optimistic about the volumes over the next few quarters, because I think supply chain issues are largely restored. Commodities have moved a little bit up and down, but it's very firm specific. At kind of a bellwether trend, I would say most supply chain issues have been sorted out.
Can you walk us through the segmental outlook? Let's say you spoke about autos, we've spoken about e-commerce. The fact that you're growing at 20% plus on a CAGR basis, where do you think growth will come from? Where do you see visibility for FY24 in terms of either market share gain or business recovery normalizing?
Sure, I'd say that I think if I look at as I look out a little bit, and if we just talk about big markets, we think farm will hold and will show growth. There is some possible impact of the monsoon, El Nino, and so on, but we believe that will grow. I think auto should show growth. Probably not as strong as the last 18 months, but should continue to grow robustly in the segments we operate. I think the consumer businesses, specific areas, pharma, we see good traction there. We are seeing some good traction on FMCG as well, so coming back. So we do expect growth in some of those areas. Discrete manufacturing is generally up. I think we are seeing some strong movement there as well. I think on e-commerce, I think growth will be muted, but we do expect inside or in-network growth to be there, though at a slightly slower pace.
Construct for us the meaning of disruption. What is disruption in the logistics space? How are disruptions at play? How differently it would be for you in this today's disruptive world? Because when I speak to some of your peers in the startup space, they are completely gung-ho about how they would be able to change the logistics space because of disruption.
So I think disruption is, I think disruption is an opportunity and risk. Right. So obviously, in the end, we are helping customers with their supply chains, and if their supply chains see risks, they are still focused on figuring out how to mitigate, the impact and still serve the end users or end buyers. And therefore, that provides both an opportunity and a risk. The opportunity, I think, is providing offerings and solutions to drive greater resilience for customers. There's an opportunity to use tech-driven integration across multiple service lines, so you can make supply chains more predictable or manage risk, from a business continuity perspective better. The challenge of disruption, of course, is everything is harder to predict, and therefore there are a lot of moving parts. And in a business which has got it's just fairly hyper-local. At the end of the day, we are delivering in the last mile for most of our clients. I think that disruption creates challenges of cost pressures. That creates disruption creates challenges of balancing your network. So those are the downsides of disruption. As I said, the upsides are the ability to create new offerings and help customers with solutions which make their businesses more resilient. So it's a mixed bag. For us, we try to invest in those solutions and expand our basket of services. So we put in a lot of investment in building temp facilities and capacities for clients. We've integrated across different service lines a lot better. And therefore, that allows a customer to not manage individual service providers themselves, but actually speak to one company which optimizes their entire logistics. So I do agree. I think there are positives in it, and there's some challenges it presents as well.
Final question. If you have to do a one-to-one comparison, pre-COVID versus now, how much of the business has normalized? How much of the business has not normalized? And net, are you higher or lower?
I think for us, on the supply chain side, I think net, we're overall positive. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at our revenues, they reflect that. They reflect a higher number than even our historical pre-COVID peaks, even before the automotive correction. So I think overall we are net up. Obviously, we're investing in building out the business and scale, and that has some impact and carry on our margins in the short term. But from revenue and business level perspective, clearly we are.
Thank you. On that note, we let you go. Appreciate you joining us on ET Now this morning. Let's take a look at what's happening.